This is Internet Marketing. Brought to you by Site Visibility at sitevisibility.co.uk. This is Internet Marketing. Now, before we start today, Site Visibility have recently released their 2020 Ppc Automation Guide. The guide is completely free to download, and it's going to help you to get started with each of the new automation settings in Google Ads. So this includes smart bidding, responsive ad testing, dynamic search ads and more. The best way to accelerate your PPC growth in 2020 is to start planning today. So download your guide for free at bit.ly, that's bit.ly/ppc-automation-guide. I'll say that again. bit.ly, that's bit.ly/ppc-automation-guide. Now today I'm joined by Luke Westland, Head of Creative at Crimtan. Luke, thanks for joining us. How are you?
Very well, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Absolute pleasure. And you're based in Brighton, aren't you?
Yeah. We've got an office out in Hove Station.
Hove Station. I know that area. I used to go there quite a lot, but that's another story. That didn't sound terribly good, did it? Trust me, listeners, it's all good, clean fun. Let's start off. Tell us about yourself and Crimtan.
So I head up creative for Crimtan. Crimtan is a programmatic company that specialises in intelligent lifecycle marketing. And what does that mean? It means looking at a user's journey on the web, their behaviours on site to deliver a relevant message that resonates with them.
I'm glad you mentioned the definition of lifestyle marketing there, Luke, because I wanted to kind of cover that. And I was wondering, lifestyle marketing as a concept at the moment, is it something that's on the up? Is it resonating? Give us a feel for how it's going at the moment.
Yeah, I think lifecycle marketing is definitely something that is probably looked at outside of programmatic. But, we really brought this into programmatic to move the company away from old ad tech and look at more about what a user's behavior is and, where we can find them on the web. And everybody's journey to a purchase is very different. And I think, every business has a life cycle effectively, through travel, retail, property finance, and FMCG.
And I'm glad you mentioned programmatic there, because some people get slightly confused by that word. Just fill us in on what that means. Is it basically another word for display marketing?
Yeah, to put it shortly, programmatic advertising is just a way to automatically buy and optimize digital campaigns rather than buying them directly from publishers.
Yeah, because whenever we talk about automation, a lot of us get slightly uncomfortable, don't we? Because we think about, oh no, we're going to lose our jobs. What's your view of that?
Yeah, I tend to not agree with that. We've got a fantastic group of traders that trade our campaigns, and if you think of the city and financial markets, what our guys do is they look to get the best price for the advertising online and the right users at the right time. So there's always a human element in there, which these guys are specialised and trained at their jobs, and we wouldn't be able to do what we do without them.
Yeah, and I want to come on to the specifics in a minute. There's sort of workflows that you're used to using in this area, but I was just wondering what verticals does this style of marketing work particularly well in, would you say?
Well, for us, we have a lot of clients in retail. We had a lot of travel clients before the crisis that is upon us at the moment. But obviously travel are not marketing at the moment. Property, it works with finance and FMCG. Because we have dynamic creative capabilities, it allows us to work with companies that have huge product lines. So think of an airline, for example, they will have hundreds of different routes, which means, different airports, different languages, different city images. And it means that with one set of banners that we're putting out, it allows us to have, 60,000 different variations of those banners. And, having those dynamic capabilities means that we can put the right message in front of the right person at the right time, which isn't rocket science. If you show somebody something that they're interested in, they're more likely to purchase it.
And do you think you could take us through a sort of a life cycle journey? What would sort of happen from start to end? And it's a huge question. I'm just really interested.
Yeah, so basically we break down the life cycle into 3 sections. Those 3 sections are new, convert, and grow.
Yeah.
The new piece is looking at new customers, so finding new customers for a brand. And the messaging on new is more of a storytelling piece about who the brand are, what they stand for, what they provide. Convert is looking at user behaviors on site. So we're looking at different pages that a user has gone to. So this could be, for example, if you take retail, it would be somebody who's looked at maybe a category of different products, and we would show them creative based on those categories. And then if somebody looked at a specific product, we would show them that product and similar products. And then grow is effectively a way to reactivate users that might not have shopped with the brand. And this is done a lot by email, but has never really been done that much in programmatic. And programmatic gives you a chance to reach a lot of people in a lot of different places, and it kind of leads into it's a bit like serendipity. If you can put something that resonates with somebody, it's not as creepy as personalizing something.
So if we just focus in on that new the 3 sections, obviously, new, convert, and grow, but focusing on the new bit, how would that manifest in terms of what the potential client sees, where they see it, etc.?
So a lot of the new stuff that we put out is video based. So these are larger formats, billboard formats that might sit at the top of a newspaper or an email provider or something like that. We're not necessarily interested in what the publication is. It's more about who the user is. So we can do contextual targeting, for example. So if somebody's looking at holidays in the Caribbean and they're reading an article about a holiday in the Caribbean, we can then advertise to that person with, for example, in new, a relevant video of a beach resort in Jamaica or wherever it might be.
Yeah. And then looking at just moving on to perhaps the convert section, I was just wondering again what sort of techniques you might be using there.
Yeah, so convert is based around a user's behavior on the site. And as you can imagine, if somebody's researching a high value purchase, they might look at several different pages on that website. Yeah. And it's important that we show them messages that are relevant to that journey. So, it might be that we use sequential messaging in that case. So, we would give them a message from their first touch point and then a different message on their second touch point. And then on their third touch point, we would provide a message that's more about a purchase.
And then you mentioned interestingly that you use a lot of, was it email in the growth stage?
Well, no, we don't use email. Email's been used in the past for that sort of reactivation phase. But we feel that programmatic is a great way of doing that. So, for travel companies, it might be getting people to spend their points. For retail, it might be that somebody hasn't bought a pair of shoes with you in the last 6 months. So you want to give them an offer of 15% off to get them back and get them purchasing. So it's grows more a sort of reactivation of an existing customer.
And what about the creative capabilities? What are the creative capabilities that you have to do, and how do these work?
So we use a number of different creative capabilities that we use to effectively get back to relevance. I'll probably say relevance too much, but the key is to try and get people down to that purchase. And so we use things like countdowns. So countdowns to offers, countdowns with stock. We use dynamic geolocation, so that could be finding your local store. In-banner video, which I mentioned earlier, which is a great way of telling a story about the brand. Dynamic weather and time we use a lot of. We did a campaign for a tourism board where we showed the temperature in your local location and then the temperature in country.
Nice.
And and also the flight time from where you were. So this ran all of Europe. So, different flight time from Munich to Gatwick, etc. And that performed really well because I think it was relevant to the users in terms of their local geo and obviously if people want to go to a hotter climate, showing them the temperature helps. There's product hotspots. So, when you roll over a product, information comes up about it. Product carousels, which gives you the opportunity, for example, in the grow section of the life cycle to upsell and cross-sell different products. Yeah. If somebody's bought a pair of blue trousers, they might want some brown shoes, things like that. And we also have a multimedia canvas creative that we produce, which if effectively is like a microsite. So you can put a lot of different information in there, video, product sliders. It's sort of the culmination of all the different capabilities that we have. And another one is auto language detection. So looking at the browser settings of the person that we're advertising to and then making sure that we're showing them the advert in the right language.
I love the idea of talking about, where you are now, it's like 10 degrees, but in such and such it's 25 degrees. I think there should be a name for that. Thermal boasting sounds like a good name for that. I really like the idea of that. It's a big subject, what we talked about today, lifecycle marketing. Obviously, we've touched on, on programmatic as well, but if you could distill it down, what would your top thinking point be for our audience today, Luke?
I think the main point is that every single brand business has a life cycle. You've just got to find it. And, that comes down to looking at user behaviors and how people shop, for example. But yeah, I think the key point is that everybody has a life cycle.
Fantastic. How can our listeners find out more about you and more about Crimtan?
You can go to the Crimtan website, which is crimtan.com. We're on Twitter, LinkedIn, and also Instagram.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for listening, everybody. The show notes will be in the usual place, which is, of course, sitevisibility.co.uk/IM podcast. If you're enjoying the show, please leave us a review. That would be great. Questions and suggestions, the email is podcast@sitevisibility.co.uk. You can tweet at Site Visibility. We also have a Site Visibility group on LinkedIn. So that's all from me, Andy. And thank you for coming on, Luke. That's all from Luke as well.
Thanks, Andy. Appreciate it. Goodbye, everyone.
Thanks, Luke. And we'll see you next time on Internet Marketing.